Guys, you already know. It's that time of the week. We got to overanalyze TV. Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 3 just came out. A lot to talk about, all right? Well, the first thing I want to talk about is Peacemaker the show is officially racist. Yeah, it's racist. I saw this funny thing on X where someone was like, there are no black people in Peacemaker in the alternate universe. And I was thinking to myself, wait, yo? And from the brief little glimpse, because I watched it once, but then I kind of scrubbed through it again. And yeah, in Dimension 2, I don't see any black people. So it would kind of be a funny reveal if, like, the only reason his dad is good, like, the only reason that freaking Augie Smith is a good guy is because there's no one to be racist to. But then all of a sudden, like, Adebayo comes into the universe. She's like, yo, what's up, guys? And Augie Smith is just like, what is that? What the fuck is that? Oh, you know, that'd be kind of funny, but it'd be kind of stupid too. Guys, let's jump into it. What do we cover today on the episode? We start off with Harcourt in bed with Rick Flag Jr., yes, right before the events of Project Starfish. So this is a pretty big scene for a couple different reasons. So one, we get a mention of Rick Flag Jr. He's like, oh, I'm about to go on this big mission. Shit's crazy. By the way, I'm dating the Enchantress from freaking Ayer's 2016 Suicide Squad. What? Now, to clarify that for those who were also confused, in the podcast afterwards, the Peacemaker podcast with James Gunn, they did say that, like, essentially what they're doing is they're taking bits and pieces of DCEU and whatever is like, oh, that still kind of tastes good. Oh, that actually works. They throw that into the DCU. So is 2016 Suicide Squad canon? No. Is Rick Flag Jr. dating Enchantress canon? Yes. Yes, it is. So I think that's kind of interesting. Is it a little frustrating for a guy like me who overanalyzes all this stuff? Yes, it really is. Because it's like, okay, well, I don't know. What I need a Bible. A DCU Bible written by James Gunn himself, going over everything. For what's canon, what's not canon. Like, I understand it on a base level, right? It's like, okay, the only thing that's canon is he happens to be dating Enchantress. Okay, that's fine. It's the Project Starfish stuff that bugs me. Because it's like, okay, there's so much happens in the Suicide Squad that how... You can't just say that, yeah, Project Starfish was canon and just ignore everything else. Like, does that, like, okay, in the first season, another perfect example. There's a scene where Chris comes home and sees his dad and he's talking about what happened in the Suicide Squad. He talks about Idris Elba's character being tortured as a kid. He talks about the rat lady, the chick who controls rats. And it's like, you got all that stuff. So it's like, are they canon? Because are you going to have Project Starfish and not them? And I don't know. I know I'm overanalyzing it. Anyway, guys, I know you're here for the episode. Let's get into it. So yeah, we see them in bed together. So pretty big episodic reveal. The main reason that Harcourt was an asshole to Peacemaker in the first season is because she was dating the guy he killed. So that's actually really cool for the sake of, like, exploring characters in more depth, right? So now we can go back to season 1 and go, oh shit, she's pissed because he just killed her boyfriend, essentially. Which, yeah, so Rick Flag Jr. was cheating on the Enchantress. I don't know if we're going to get into that anymore. Probably not. I don't think it's that important, but I just think that's a fun thing to start off with. So after this, Chris is officially living in the alternate universe. We get some funny interaction of him trying to blend in. And then I wrote down, obviously, Keith is on to him. So I don't know if that's actually 100%. So obviously, from where we left off last time, Peacemaker is now, he's in Universe 2, baby. Harcourt is thirsty as hell, dude. Like, bro, I don't see the downsides to this universe, yo. He's a hero everywhere. There's this really funny scene that cracked me up so much where he's like, Peacemaker's driving the peace cycle, and there's this kid that rolls down his window. He's like, Peacemaker, I love you. It's, I don't know. That's a horrible impression. It's very cringe, but it's so funny. But yeah, so we see a lot in this episode. He's trying so hard to blend in. So Keith, his brother that's dead in his universe, comes up to him and he's like, hey, you're not on those pills, right? And Peacemaker's just like, nope. By the way, can I borrow your truck? and Keith's like, just use your peace cycle. So, you know, he's asking these weird questions to where obviously, I mean, yeah, I would think that Keith is kind of on to it, but like, what would he be on about? If I was in Keith's situation, like, oh, my brother is acting weird, he doesn't recognize stuff day to day, I would think, yeah, I guess I would think he's on pills, or I would think that he's on some drugs, right? I wouldn't jump to, you're from another dimension. So if they do that, that's stupid. Yeah. But I'm really interested to see where that goes. We get some Keith later on. We actually get a lot of action in this episode. Super pumped. Oh man, it's so good. There's not too much to go off of for that little interaction that they have. There's an interaction they have later that's really good that we'll get to. But anyway, so the next step, we have Chris showing up at Argus headquarters to talk to Harcourt. That's another awkward thing where he's like, where does Harcourt work? And his brother's like, Argus? Like, because, you know, he should know that. He goes there, and in this universe, she is dating Rick Flag Jr. But in this one, he is a bit of a little bitch. So he runs around and he's like clumsy and shit. And he's like, why are you talking to my girl? It's kind of funny. Just seeing like two polar opposites of this same character. And what I really like about this scene, so kind of skipping forward a little bit, Harcourt's like, we're just going to talk. We're not dating. We're just going to go out. We're going to talk, get a hot dog, which is a date. Yeah, and they go out and then they have this moment where she's talking about all these shitty things that Peacemaker from Universe 2 has done. Because keep in mind, she thinks that he is Peacemaker 2. She doesn't know that he's dead, obviously. And while she's talking about it, she's like, oh yeah, because my driving was iffy, you stormed out and you cheated on me like a shit ton of times. And Peacemaker 1 is obviously like, I would never do that. You know, so it's just really interesting because then she's like, oh, you seem really different. So I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those things where she's like almost turned off by it. Like this Harcourt is really into like the go F yourself Peacemaker. And now that this is like this emotionally mature Peacemaker, she's going to be like, ugh. But no, I mean, we see that she's pretty thirsty throughout the episode. Anyway, after that, essentially we have this massive event where the Sons of Liberty take over this like government building. And we have this really cool moment where Peacemaker just springs into action. And this is a God tier action scene. I do have a problem with it though. So it's God tier. The kills are really good, but that's just it. That's my problem right there. In the last season, now correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because I'm wrong sometimes. In the first season, the whole thing was, he was like, I'm uncomfortable with killing. I don't like killing. I just, you know, shit changed. I feel differently about it now. Now, obviously, the end of season 1, he was like, well, I'm fine with killing bugs and aliens and shit. Like, that's fine. But here, I mean, yeah, they're terrorists, but like, I don't know. It just felt a little weird to see him go from like I don't like killing people he takes two pencils and like jabs them in a guy's ears and then like lifts him off of the ground. It's a cool as hell shot. I love it. All the action here is God tier. There's one moment where they're all trying to run up the stairs to get away from him, and he just like, bah, 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 bah. Like, oh man. And there's this like autistic guy that's like, hey man, what's going on, man? Or maybe he's just high. I don't know. And he's walking around, and Peacemaker just chops his head with an axe. And again, it's funny. It's badass. I like it. But the whole time I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, did he just get over it? Or is the rule now that like, oh, well, it's a bad guy, so bad guys, whatever, that's fine. Because I don't know. I feel like that was a whole arc in the first season. So it's like, are we just ignoring that now? Just because they're bad guys, I guess. But, you know, it's whatever. It's whatever. But then Keith comes in as well at the last moment. He literally like dive bombs a helicopter. Again, so fucking badass. I love it. And then, you know, he's like, yo, you got the bomb. He's like, I got the bomb. Yeah. And then they have a big talk at home, just kind of going over like, hey man, you know, get off them pills and shit. And I am not doing the conversation justice, but the emotions, they hit. The emotions hit hard during that scene. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you have a good relationship with your family or not, I think that there's something there to hit for you. So I don't know. Overall, I loved this episode. I thought it was fantastic. The action, great. We're finally going through and discovering things in Dimension 2. Perfect. We have little side plot stuff with the Argus and all that. You know, I don't care as much for that, to be completely honest. You know, we have Tim Meadows. He's still really funny. We have the return of Judo Master. I'm kind of half and half on that character. Like, he didn't really do anything in the first one. So this time when they bring him around, I'm like, why? I mean, I get it. It's like, oh, it's like comic relief, I guess. But we already have comic relief characters. So it's whatever. Aside from that, yeah, I mean, that's about it. It basically, the episode ends with Peacemaker going back into Dimension 1 after his talk with Keith. He walks in as Argus is coming in with an army to take him down, find out more about this portal. Then we get a little preview for episode 3, where he's like running out with Eagly to like escape the house. So, guys, once again, 9 out of 10, baby. This is such a good episode. It's just little things that I'm just kind of being picky about, like, you know, like canon stuff and just little tiny itty bitty things here and there. But let's see. For my other positives, yeah, I mean, exploring Dimension 2, got to your action, the emotions. Yeah, I mean, it all hits. Yeah, honestly, the last point that I had here, okay, this may seem like a dumb thing to complain about, but these episodes are way too short, bro. Like, for once a week, bro? You know? Like, that was my issue with episode 2 was like, it's kind of like you're kind of spinning in a circle. You know, episode 2 does a lot for character building, and that's perfect. That's great. I love it. But when you're kind of spinning, not really doing much, it's like I need us to like pick up the pace. And this episode picked up the pace, but it's only about like 35 minutes. And like, hot damn, just give me like 2. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just an HBO Max thing. I'm bitching for no reason. Whatever, man. Guys, I really like this episode. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I'll see you guys next week for episode 4. Let's freaking go. Halfway point. Yo, see you then. Bye.